All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, the first NBA Finals video. We're going to do a little preview of the Finals matchup, Spurs versus Knicks. We're going to talk about some news that happened after the Knicks won the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're going to talk about some news that happened after the Spurs won the Western Conference Finals. So if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. We're just going to do a quick little overview here. I'm not going to give any predictions. I kind of stopped doing predictions. I want to give a prediction so bad. My only prediction here off the top, if you're just going to listen to like the first couple minutes of this video, I would say I want New York to win because I think it'd be cool to have a championship in New York. Once again, obviously the Liberty and the WNBA won. Was that 2 years ago now? 2 years ago. It would be cool, but I will say I think it is going to be Spurs in 7. And I think tonight is going to be a telltale sign of, what's to come, obviously. I do have the regular season matchups up in front of me. We'll go through that a little bit just to get an idea of what both these teams like to do against each other. And, I had completely forgotten that the Spurs and Knicks met in the NBA Cup championship round. I had completely forgotten about that. So there is some history there playing for something at least. Whatever you think about the NBA Cup or the Emirates NBA Cup is what it is. This game, we'll get to this game, but let's talk about some stuff for this series first. For this series, I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup because if you didn't hear the news, one of the Knicks' primary, or what was going to be one of the Knicks' primary defenders, Mitchell Robinson, it was first reported that he broke his pinky, right? And they didn't really give any indication. It was literally Mitchell Robinson has broken his pinky. That was like the report, right? And there was no context to it. And me knowing Mitchell Robinson and following Mitchell Robinson for as long as I have, I knew he had done some stupid stuff. I knew it was something stupid. And then it came out maybe like 10 hours later, 20 hours later, that he broke in his hand doing a non-basketball activity. And then when Mike Brown was asked about it, he didn't want to go into any detail, but he just said it wasn't a basketball-related activity, and he did not seem thrilled about that aspect, that it wasn't a basketball-related activity. Now, there's a bunch of rumors floating around. My first thought is like he punched a wall. That was my initial thought, and then I saw some other tweets that were like he broke his finger, working on his truck or whatever. He has this really big lifted truck. You probably have seen him on social media in it. He like fell down the stairs and like landed on his hand or something. It was something stupid. And then it came out today. Matter of fact, it came out today that he had surgery. It is fixed. He is going to play. He's not like ruined the whole finals run for his team, but he will play. And what he was officially diagnosed with was, I believe it's called puncher's fist or puncher's hand, where you essentially break your whole hand. Your whole hand's broken, but it starts obviously somewhere in the pinky, and then it goes down for him. That's what happened. I think the immediate thought when I thought about this was, oh my God, they're gonna have to play like Ariel Hukporte or like Mohamed Diawara or whatever behind like Karl Anthony Towns if Mitchell Robinson isn't gonna play. I was like, oh no, this is already over. Cat's an okay defender. He's improved a little bit, but he's not stopping Wemby. Even though he probably wouldn't have been the primary defender, you are gonna have to face the fact that Cat will have to guard Wemby at some point. But Mitchell Robinson is going to play, and how effective he's going to be with that injured hand, because it is on a shooting hand anyway, is going to be very interesting. I'm not completely comfortable with him playing with that hand. I feel like I'm not a doctor. I feel like he could probably do more damage than is already that's done. Even though even though he has had it fixed, I think you have to roll him out there. And obviously, if he wants to go out there, you have to let him because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity to like win a championship. But I don't love the idea of it, and I feel like he's going to be hampered immensely by this injury. And when I think about the other people that Wemby's going to face, the defense. Now that we're talking about it, it was also reported, and we've seen with our own two eyes in the regular season in the NBA Cup that OG Anunoby is probably going to get the defensive nod to be the primary defender on Wemby. And I saw some tape of it, and I thought about it. And one of the biggest things that like is said about like European bigs, but just Wemby as well in general, is that um, he does not like being defended physically. You saw Oklahoma do it. Um, I coined the term, the Hartenstein hold, where Isaiah Hartenstein for Oklahoma City would just hold him. Sometimes it's like out of view of the ref, he would just like hold his hand or hold his arm or something, and that can be very dangerous. But I suspect OG Anunoby will be physical with him. I suspect that they will try to run maybe a double right out of the gate as soon as he gets it going. Like not right off the tip, like the jump ball, but as maybe once Wemby has like maybe like 5 shots in a row that go in, 4 shots in a row that go in, they'll probably start to throw a double at him. The Knicks will probably not waste any time throwing a double, trying to get the other people to beat them that aren't named Victor Wembanyama. And how do I think Wemby can do against the assortment of defense that he's going to see? Because I feel like he has seen a lot of defense already in this very fresh playoff run for this team. Um, I think he's going to handle it okay. I am worried that I'm not worried about the games in San Antonio. The first game and the second game are in San Antonio because San Antonio has the better record. But I'm not worried about the games in San Antonio. I am worried about the games in New York because it can get loud, it can get rowdy. I'm not gonna talk about the celebrity row that may or may not be present during the game. It is what it is. I'm talking about like the fans, like the real fans, the fans that are like hooting and hollering and all that stuff. Um, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how Wemby handles that because he's usually very composed and very, you know, I don't want to say thoughtful, but we use the word thoughtful person. And I feel like being in that New York environment is gonna do something. And if like OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, anybody that's on Wemby and they get a block or a steal or they make him fall down or something, is gonna be loud in there. And I'm not sure this young Spurs team is ready for that. I think Wemby is probably the most prepared for it, but I'm not sure if um, I'm not sure if the team as a whole is prepared. Um, where do we want to go next with this? Um, hmm. Let's talk about some other stuff. How the Spurs got here. The turnaround for the Spurs. This was posted by, I believe, the official NBA page. 2022, 2023, 22 wins. 2023, 2024, 22 wins. And then 2024, 2025, 34 wins. And then 2025, 2026, 62 wins. Just wanted to put that note there that the Spurs been at this for a while. It's a quick turnaround, but it was it was something. And Coach Mitch Johnson said in like a what do you call it, like a finals uh, press conference sort of thing. Um, he said about former coach Greg Popovich. It's not lost on me the impact that he had while really empowering me to be myself. And I've said it before, I'm not the biggest Mitch Johnson fan. He's grown on me a little bit. I like his energy. He's young himself in coaching years. I liked his energy. I like the things he brings. The X's and O's need work. Does that mean perhaps Mike Brown could outcoach Mitch Johnson. I think this is probably the most fair coaching matchup we could have possibly gotten. Because not that Mike Brown's a new coach, but Mike Brown is like kind of new. Like he new new's not the word. I'm stumbling over my words, but new's not the word. Like he's a new team for Mike Brown, but it's a new dynamic as well because I feel like this is the best collection of talent he's gotten to coach. And he's coached great individual players, but this is the best like conglomerate of talent he's coached as a head coach. And he has the experience. He has been to the finals once before and got out coached. That was when he was with the Cavaliers and he was with LeBron and all that. Fun. Did they lose? Did they lose to the Spurs? They might have lost to the Spurs then too. Um, but yeah, I think the coaching matchup is going to be something to watch as well, obviously. But to me, it's the most fair it could have been um, at this point. Um, Moving on here, let's talk about the other matchups that we could see. So that's like Stefan Castle versus Jalen Brunson. That's like Dylan Harper versus Jalen Brunson. Um, if I'm looking, oh, and De'Aaron Fox. I almost forgot about De'Aaron Fox as well. De'Aaron Fox versus Jalen Brunson. Um, Funny enough, Mike Brown coached De'Aaron Fox, so he knows a thing or two about De'Aaron. So maybe that helps him a little bit in game planning for De'Aaron. Um, Jalen Brunson's obviously the best guard in this. Gonna be in the series, right? Like he's on such a roll, and he's in a different level now than he was even previously because they got bounced by the Pacers. They were the better team at the time. Now the Knicks are the better team. Um, just the full body of work for Jalen Brunson is incredible, and not just this run, but in past years. And I think just by merit and just by skill alone, even though I think De'Aaron Fox is really good, I don't think he has anything on Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is something else. And let me see here. If we go look at the games during the season, um, how did Jalen Brunson play? 25 points. Let's see here. 29 points. Uh-oh. And then, let's see. 24 points. So yeah, he's like 20, what would that even out to? Like 26 points per game, 27 points per game, really? He's going to need to do a little bit more than that, because I feel like in this matchup, Jalen Brunson and like Mikal Bridges could probably get away with the most, free flowing and being their normal selves. Carl's gonna have a hard time getting his shot off. OG won't be asked to do too much offensively because he is gonna get the primary defensive assignment, like I said. Um, you factor that in, I I think Jalen Brunson is in for a really big series. I really do. Um, it's just amazing what he did in the regular season. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but like he's dropping consistent 20s on this team, 20 plus points. Um, let's move to Karl Anthony Towns now that we're talking about him. 16 points for him in the season series, 20, um, 12. It's not a great one. So the 12 points is an outlier to the, I guess, I mean, we have to see if Wemby played. That's also a big factor in this. When we played in that matchup, when we played in that one, did he play in? He did play in this one. He came off the bench. Oh, that's right. That's when he was just coming back from that. This was the game he came back. Yeah. Um, so versus Wembanyama, Carl's like maybe a little bit hit or miss because like 20 points isn't bad. You're gonna need to like I'm gonna repeat myself on a bunch of these matchups. You're gonna need to do a little bit more. It's the NBA Finals. I'm expecting a little bit more juice from you. Um, yeah, this 12 points, 28 minutes, 4 personal fouls, 4 turnovers, 14 rebounds. That's not a great one. This was their latest matchup too in March. That's not that's not great at all. That's not great for Cat. um, let's talk about excuse me, the others. The Devin Vassell's, the Keldon Johnsons, the Julian Champagnes, versus, the Knicks others. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Landry Shamet. Let's see here. Who else would play in this series? Mitchell Robinson. Um, I think might be a hot take. I think the Spurs have a slightly better bench. When I look at, actually, we can just pull it up. When we look at the people that played in the last Knicks series, right? We look at who played when they played the Cavs. Um, all right, so I got it pulled up. The people that played last series for the Knicks, and then we'll mark off who will probably play this series. Let me grab my pen. OG, Cat, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, all playing or going to play heavy minutes. Let's see. You have Jordan Clarkson here. I'm not sure if Jordan Clarkson's gonna play. He might. I feel like one of these bigs is gonna have to play a lot. Yeah. So in totality, let's run it through here. Let's do this. So we got OG. Let's do OG, Cat, Josh, JB, Mitchell Robinson, of course. I almost forgot him. Shamit's gonna play, of course. Shamit, McBride, and then who would play? Would it be Ariel Hawkporte, Muhammad Diawara? I feel like they've leaned more into Ariel Hawkporte, so I'm gonna bet Hawkporte plays. Hawkporte. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I missing somebody? Oh, I'm missing Bridges. Duh. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 9-man rotation right there. OG, Karl-Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. I'm missing a name here. I'm still missing a name. Mitchell Robinson, Landry Shamet, Miles McBride, Ariel Hawkporte. And then if they run into any issues, obviously, is Jose gonna play in? Can Jose play in this series? I think they might just throw him out here to cause some chaos. It's a 10-man rotation. That seems fair. I don't think Jordan Clarkson Jordan Clarkson's playing this series. Maybe he will. I don't know. I feel like it's a toss-up. It depends on the motion of the game, I guess, between Clarkson and Alvarado. And Jeremy Shohan might play too because he knows the. I forgot to mention this as well. Jeremy Shohan, I believe, waived by the Spurs mid-season this season. Now playing for the Knicks, or he's on the Knicks. He hasn't been playing a lot, but he's on the Knicks. So he has some insight into the team. So that's the Knicks right there. That's their 8-man rotation, or 9 to 10-man rotation. Let me get another sticky note here so I can write down the Spurs here. Let me write down the Spurs here. And who played their last matchup. Where's my pen? There's my pen. So yeah, you have the starting lineup: Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, Julian Champagnie. So, Vic, Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin, and then JC. So that's the 5. That's the starting 5. KJ is obviously going to play. Yeah, I mean, Carter Bryant has to play, right? I mean, yeah, Carter Bryant, Harper, obviously, and then Cornette. Harrison Barnes is going to play. I feel like this is going to be very similar for the Spurs. They're just going to try to run their best team out there. Because if I'm looking at these teams now, I'm looking at these matchups, it's going to be a very, depending, I think it's really going to be the Knicks are really going to have to dictate the rotations, because if they don't have it going, the Spurs can go very deep. Not very deep. The Knicks can go very deep, but the Spurs have more character at those positions, if that makes sense, right? Because like I like Miles McBride, I like Shamit, Hakporte. I'm not sure about, but they're gonna need to throw another big out there, in case Cat gets in foul trouble or Mitchell Robinson's in foul trouble. So one of these bigs is gonna have to play. Um, and then for the Spurs, I mean, they just played. Well, granted they were injured, but they just played the best bench team in the league in Oklahoma. So I don't think they're gonna have any problems figuring out what lineups to go out there, um, and work with, versus this Knicks team. I don't think that's an issue. I just think it's who's out there in those moments. I think that's what it is to me. Who's actually gonna be out there? Because like if I look at this, like let's just go for the bench, right? Do I like Miles McBride or Carter Bryant? I kind of like Miles McBride a little bit more. Do I like uh, Dylan Harper or Landry Shamet? I like Dylan Harper. um, do I like Mitchell Robinson or Luke Cornett? An injured Mitchell Robinson, a healthy Luke Cornett, he goes in and gives you really impactful stuff. And then like dipping into the starting lineup a little bit, like do I like Josh Hart or um, Julian Champagny? I kind of like Josh Hart a little bit more, even though Julian Champagne just came off a really good closing game there in Game 7. Um, yeah, I think this is gonna be very interesting. And I think if the Knicks find themselves out of control of a game, I'm not saying they're gonna roll over, but it's gonna be very hard for them to come back from it. Even though they have faced some adversity in this playoff run, I don't know if they're ready for this young Spurs team. I just really don't know. Um, if I go look at what do I want to look at next? Um, I want to look at I want to talk about the San Antonio crowd because I talked about the Knicks crowd. Um, because the game win is in San Antonio. It's a fun fact when the Spurs do like the Fiesta uh jerseys and like the Fiesta different color shirts in the crowd. They're 1-2, so the record isn't the best. That's working against them. But all things considered, um, I think the Spurs having home court in this series is going to be very important because this Spurs or the San Antonio crowd loves comebacks. They love when this team keeps fighting and it gets everybody engaged. And I don't think this game one's going to be an upset. I could be completely wrong. I don't think this game one's going to be an upset though. I think the Spurs are going to win game one. It may be game two where the Knicks make those adjustments and they start really coming off, the layoff, the longer layoff that they had. I'm not saying the Knicks aren't prepared, but I feel like it's readiness versus rest in that case, and I'm always going to lean towards the readied, especially when it's a younger team. You know, these older teams, we saw it when the Knicks played the Cavs in the conference finals in that first game in New York. They came out so slow. Um, I believe who on this Knicks team has finals? Does anybody on this Knicks team have finals experience? Not conference finals, finals. What was Jalen Brunson on that finals team? No, because that was Kyrie. That was Kyrie and Luca. This is brand new territory for a lot of these guys, and this is brand new territory for the Spurs team. But in what the Spurs team lack in the major people that play minutes and experience, I mean, they have Harrison Barnes who's been to a finals. Um, they have Luke Cornett, who I believe has been to a finals as well. Um, it's gonna be it's gonna be weird watching these teams that have never been there before. And this isn't the first time we've seen it. It happens a lot, but like it's also interesting to see like this Knicks team who's been working at it so long, to get to this point, with this group versus the Spurs who have just done it in year three. And like this group is like, this is the first year of this group. Like this is the first year of like Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, even De'Aaron Fox didn't play a lot with Victor, even with the team because he was out. Victor hasn't played a lot with this team, all things considered. It's gonna be interesting to see if I have to stop using the word interesting, intriguing. How about that? That with I'm not doubting the Spurs chemistry, but the Knicks have like a long term chemistry, which is gonna be fun to see versus like the Spurs just running and gunning out there and going off pure instinct, versus the how would I say it? It's like the savviness and the leadership of the Knicks. Is there anything else I want to get to here? Um, let's see. Let's go through. Fun fact: last time Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges played a game in San Antonio, they won the NCAA championship. So that's a fun fact for you guys there. Um, is there anything else that I want to get to here? Um, Spurs Thunder was one of the most watched conference finals series in 24 years. So that's something to note there. Um, oh yeah, here's the actual report. Mitchell Robinson broke his fifth metacarpal, not his pinky. So pardon me, he broke his fifth metacarpal. It's a broken hand. When you break this part of your hand, it is known as a boxer's fracture because most of the time it means you hit something. So my theory originally, when I said he hit something, was very true. Because I Mitchell Robinson is such a freaking character. Like I don't even mean to the guy because he obviously like isn't all the way there. He's just different. He's a different sort of person. And like as soon as I saw that report, I was like, yeah, I knew this guy did something stupid. Of course, the one guy on the team that could do something stupid, right? Of course, is Mitchell Robinson. um, anything else here? I wanna get to. I don't think there is. There's that stuff floating around about with Kevin Garnett, um, talking about how Victor was like too emotional when he won the conference finals. I'm in no place to talk about Kevin Garnett because he's a really great player. Um, but like these old players, dude, like either a person cares too much or they don't care enough, or they're too tough or they're too soft. There's never a healthy medium with these people, and I just think they're talking out of their neck sometimes. To be completely honest, even though that's what I do sometimes. Um, I try to at least bring a little bit of um, information to you guys, so I'm basing my opinion off of um, something I actually know at least a little bit about. Um, in an interview with ESPN's Malika Andrews, Victor Wembanyama said the following: "The lack of experience is a strength to us because we could do impossible stuff because we don't know it's impossible." So just going in, like I said, just going in there and going off instinct, going off feeling. That's a great way to look at it, especially because like it's gonna be overwhelming. Like these first two games, you're at home, like it's not gonna be too overwhelming. Obviously, be jitters and stuff, but it's that third game that I'm worried about. That like, can the Spurs win in New York? It's gonna be very. It's gonna be jarring. I think. Speaking of both San Antonio and New York has home field advantage. Um, if you noticed on the left and right of your screen, the NBA brought back the Larry O'Brien Trophy on the court finally. Um, I think it looks great. If you look it up, it looks great. The way they made it, it's actually painted on. It's not a sticker. Um, it's really good. Um, and yeah, anything else? Anything else I want to get to? No, I just want to get this video out to you guys because I'm falling behind on everything I'm trying to do today, apparently. So hopefully you guys have found this enjoyable. I'm sorry if there was some, it felt a disconnected nature to the video. Like I said, it's been a wild day for me, but I wanted to get this out. I wanted to do a little finals preview and talk about some stuff. Um, I'm just scrolling through here one more time, see if there's anything I want to say. Mm, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, go watch the finals, guys. Every day, on every other day, except 2 days of rest in between location switches. Um, till like what is it, like 2 weeks from now? Yeah, like 2 weeks from now. Yeah. So we'll know who the NBA champion is. Maybe in 2 weeks. Maybe in a couple days. Who knows? But I will see you guys tomorrow to talk about who won Game One. The end screen should be playing right now. Check out the video on the left. Check out the playlist on the right. And if you click my little icon right in the middle of the screen, a little subscribe will pop up, and you can subscribe with ease. Like and comment as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.